Welcome to the Carney to Congress podcast. I'm your host, Adam Botana, Baywater Exclusive Boat Club. We've got a great crew here today. We got my right and left hand, Julie Inman. She calls by Jules. I just call her Julie. She's a lot, but she's good. She's good times. She's good times. Hi, Julie.
Hello.
You can just talk to me normally. It's totally fine. And also, we have Jake. Jake's got his own camera, and he's got the background behind him there, so it's looking good. So welcome to the Carney Congress podcast, brought to you by Baywater Exclusive Boat Club, the only family-owned and operated boat club in Southwest Florida. I want to appreciate everybody that came out last week for the open house. It was successful. We had a good time. Jake, thank you for putting a commercial together. I did talk really fast, so we're going to have to adjust that, but it was good work. You know what I'm saying? So to bring it up early, I just want to bring it up now so we know. So it's all in the line there online. Julie did a good job. Julie did a good job this weekend hanging out. She was a little cranky towards the end, but that happens. It's always a good time. I don't expect anybody to work 100% with me all the time without getting cranky, because I will admit I am an ass at times. So, Julie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. You can look right at me. You don't have to look at the camera.
I don't know. I've never been on a podcast before.
Oh, you're on? There you go. That's very good. Do that all the time. So we'll just dive right in. Julie is general manager at Baywater Exclusive Boat Club. Like I said, my right and left hand. We met in a bar. Should we just start at the top?
I knew you were going to start there.
Yeah.
I've been rehearsing it.
The watcher of Nugget, the Nugget's stepmom,
yes.
pretty much.
Nuggie.
Nuggie, she'll be in the show a little later. But yeah, so was at a bar down in Naples at
the Bay House.
Bay House, and was there with a club member. Sitting at the bar. With a club member, and we started talking about Silver Oak wine. Your stepdad and my club member started talking, and Jake, this little blonde, comes over in a red dress and is like, "Hey, what do you do?" And I'm like, "I'm the head boat washer." She goes, "I want to wash boats," and I said, "Well, show up with a resume."
Rest is history.
9 a.m.
Yeah.
And she was here 9 a.m. with a resume. I was like, "Dad, we're hiring her." Mm-hmm. And seemed like she was here for a year, but it was like 4 months. Mm-hmm. But she ran the rentals down there at Baywater. She ran the rentals over there. She broke up a fight between a plumber and my dad, between Omar and a plumber. My dad, like, Julie's like, "This is a business." I'll let her get into it. But yeah, so jump into it. What you got?
Yeah, so I just like to clarify, I was not at a bar because I was 19. So I was sitting
You're
at
from Ohio.
a bar
It's totally
with my
fine.
parents.
It's totally fine.
And to this day, Silver Oak is a running family between my family and Adam, so that's fun. But yeah, I had actually just gone deep sea fishing with my parents and was super interested in the boating aspect of things down in Florida because I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio originally, and you don't go boating on the river there because it's
Why not?
polluted and catfish and sometimes dead bodies.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
So I was intrigued to hear of a person who worked with boats, and yeah, I did show up the next day with the resume. Not to wash boats. Primarily, I was just sitting at a desk taking reservations, and I got a little crazy with Excel at some point. But yeah, Omar was there one day because he was unsatisfied with the work of a plumber. I believe the plumber was asking for payment for a job he did poorly or didn't do at all. And I had a customer checking in, and for those of you who knew Omar, when he had something to say, like, he said it, and it was loud and boisterous and very Cuban.
Broken English for sure. You know what I mean, man.
And I said, "Excuse me, got customers checking in. Could you please take this elsewhere?"
Oh, that sounds about like that. I remember I was here, and he come around the corner here at this right over here by the office, and he just had a pissed off look. He's like, "Adam, come here." I was like, "Oh, what the hell did I do now? Get this guy the hell away from me." And it was the plumber. So it escalated down here. We got to figure it out after everything. Everything was satisfied. It was Dad's way of being dad for sure. So, but yeah, so Julie worked at Baywater here for what, 3-4 months pretty much?
Yeah, 3 or 4 months. And then I actually got offered and hired as an arts and crafts director at a marine biology camp in the Florida Keys. So I went and did that for a summer at Sea Camp on Big Pine Island.
So that was fun. Would you just drive boats all day and kind of...
Yeah, that's actually where I learned. I got to learn here with Omar teaching me a lot about docking and stuff because I knew I was going to need it down there. And then, yeah, I drove boats down there. I got my lifeguard certification. I got my rescue diver certification. And I was the arts and crafts director, which is probably the most accurate thing to my personality.
She's always got all kinds of arts going on here. We got paintings that made it through the storm
Yeah,
at
good
all
luck
the
charms.
houses. So yeah, there's a few there. And it's funny, we kept in touch. Oh, there goes Captain Billy. Oh no, it's Nick. So
Yeah.
that's our captain is going there. We kept in touch, and it was funny. Julie and I were. It was a fun relationship because she would always come in and she'd be reading books, and I'm not gonna say what book she was reading, but I'd just be like, "What are you reading?" And it would go back and forth, and it was very interesting. It's good books, And we kept in touch just over time, and this is way before I got elected. This
It
was a
was
few years, and then you went back to where'd you go to school?
the Ohio State University. Go Buckeyes.
Yes, yes. So when were you there in Ohio State?
2017 to 2021, but I took a leave of absence in the middle. So
Mm-hmm.
that's when I came down here was in 2019. So
Mm-hmm.
it was, yeah, right before you got involved with the board for the Clean Water Initiative and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, Adam mentioned to me that he was thinking of running. And I will admit, I did laugh. I did laugh at his face. And now he's the one laughing.
He says, "You won? You actually won?" I was like, "Yeah, I won." So went up to Tallahassee, and then we chatted because I had my legislative assistant. He was there for me a year, and then I think I called you and I said, "Hey, you were trying to get into law school. You didn't get the school you wanted to." And I said, "Well, why don't you come down here to Tallahassee and be my legislative aide for a year and see what happens?" And it was kind of funny. You said, "What? Huh?" And it took what? You took about, so you got a month to think about it.
You gave me, I think, closer to 3 months
Yeah, because it was
because,
time. It was not
yeah.
realized you got some time, and there were some phone calls back and forth, and she talked to her dad and her stepdad and her mom, and
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, "I'll do it." I'm like, "All right."
Yeah.
So
Well, and
didn't
I
you?
talked to
Didn't you?
Riley too, and a couple people that were already in the job.
Yeah.
And one thing that I thought was a really good piece of advice for anybody is I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, went to Ohio State. It's a little bit more liberal than it is down here in Florida.
Hmm.
And I was really nervous about like the clashing of political parties just because at the time I was definitely in that environment. And someone said, well, like you just have to come down here and you're not going to want to work for someone who's going to be prejudiced based on if you worked for a Republican or a Democrat anyway. Like you just need to work for someone who wants to have you there regardless of what you're tied to politically. And that was something that I needed to hear, I think. So it was good being brought down here into a different environment. You learn a lot when you're around people different from yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Julie came in. We were in the tower of no power the first year we're down, and turned 1 year turned into 3,
Mm-hmm.
working in the legislature. You learned a lot. We both learned a lot. I remember there was votes that were very, very hard for Julie, but we always had conversations after and talked about them. Said, "Hey, this is what we're doing. This is what's going on," and it was good. It was good. And then she just she fell right into it, and it was fun. I mean, being a legislative aide. What is a day in a legislative aide from your aspect? And then we'll get into a day a day here at Baywater. So, what do you think what was your biggest thing that you liked being a legislative aide, and kind of tell people what you did and all that. So
Sure. Yeah. So the standard breakdown of the job is you're there to really help the elected official keep all of their priorities in line. Every member of the House gets 7 bills and as many appropriations as they'd like. And as their legislative aide, you're there to make sure all the committees have the right documentation for whatever bill that they're presenting at the time. So you get to meet a lot of interesting people from your community as well, because Adam represents Bonita District 80, all of that good stuff. So, I know why you're laughing. We'll get to the tattoos later.
oh, yeah, that's even a little larger there. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so it's really just there to help the member. But in the
Why are
process
you
of
laughing,
doing
Jake?
that, you get to learn a lot about the community that you live in. So I mean, you could be there as early as 6 o'clock, 6:30 when there's an early committee meeting. Oftentimes, if you like your member, you'll help provide caffeine or breakfast from Goodies. But it really is just like forming a partnership in order to get things done for the district that you represent, because you're both ideally there for that reason. And yeah, there's a lot of paperwork, a lot of emails, a lot of meetings, a lot of computer work. And then, yeah, sometimes you can be there as late as midnight when it really is in the middle of session. So that's like the boring aspect of it. But the fun part is the camaraderie that you get to experience with the other legislative aides. And there's people from all different ages and walks of life as a legislative aide. There's people, I mean, there's a young woman in her 70s, but I'll still refer to her as a young woman because she would come out to Birds with Us, which is a karaoke joint. So yeah, I mean, there's really great friendships and experiences and knowledge that you can pick up. And then there's always these really cool networking events that different associations or lobbying groups will throw. For example, like Miami-Dade Days is always a really popular one where the Dade delegation will just have paella and salsa dancing. And it's just something that you don't get to experience
Julie
every day.
likes salsa dancing, Jake. Jake is a salsa dancer, too.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he breaks the hip.
Just a little bit.
Hopefully you're on camera doing that.
They're doing this? Doing this number?
Yes, there you go. Perfect.
I look like
I don't know what the...
crazy with the background.
It's got to throw up, hang 10 as you do salsa dancing. That's right. Hang loose. That's right. That's right. So, yeah, okay. So that was fun. What was the most surprising thing as being a legislative aide in Tallahassee that you think?
Well,
Be honest.
Be honest. It's an honest. If it's that bad, we can cut it. So don't worry.
Okay.
Yes.
yeah, well, the most surprising thing was, to me at least, for someone who hadn't been in politics before, a lot of the bills or items being voted on, kind of the outcome was already determined prior to the meetings. So you could have the vote, you could have the public testimony, but I would say 9 times out of 10, it was already kind of assumed or known how that was going to go.
Okay.
So, I
I
mean,
understand. Yeah.
that was just surprising to me because I just hadn't been that involved before.
Mm-hmm. So, that's true. I mean, that's when stuff comes up on an agenda, a bill comes up or something like that. There's a lot of stuff that happens along those lines. But that's why it's important to be there.
Mm-hmm.
You
Totally.
must be present to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not a job that's 9 to 5 or 8 to 5. You got to be there and be in the room and be present. You can't just go in there and just mail it in.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that make a difference that'll happen where you'll be like, and all of a sudden something happens. The biggest thing in politics and pretty much in business and life, you must be present to win.
Mm-hmm.
Like my dad said, you can't be an absentee boss. We just get pissed. He says you can't do it. And there's a lot of stuff that comes there. And it's about being in there. You just got to be in the room or be pretty close to it, and that takes time in politics. I will say with the House, I've got a lot of friends on both sides of the aisle. I don't think those 120 members could run this marina. But again, they're not supposed to run a marina. They're government. So that's, again, it's the worst system. It's one of the worst systems, but it's the worst system in the world.
I agree.
Because a lot of good stuff does get done.
A lot of good stuff did get done, 100%.
Yeah. So, okay. So transitioning, you're with me for 3 years in the House, and we went down. We got a little closer to the 4th floor, so we came down into House office building. We met a suite mate. So tell me about the first time you meet Sam Antigua. Tell me about that.
Sam Antigua.
Sam Antigua.
Yes. So Samantha Rosenberg is one of the most competent, intelligent, amazing young women in the legislative process in Tallahassee. Goes on the record. I'll say that till the day I die. And the first time I saw this woman walk in the room, I was intimidated by her because she just carries herself with poise, and she takes herself very seriously because at the end of the day, you're in a position where you're helping people create laws for the great state of Florida. And I was just so impressed by her and a little bit intimidated. And then as soon as we got to know one another better, she's just the sweetest, goofiest person ever. But when it comes to her job, she takes it seriously and she does it very well. But she's wonderful and funny, and we became best friends.
So this was a suite mate. So she worked for Representative Oberdorf. So we had an office that had 2 suites in there. It was a great office, great location. It was the hangout, and we had the hangout there. So we had Sam and we had Julie and Jake a couple times. I mean, a couple pretty girls, right? And I come out of my office and there was a few guys around and they're all just hanging out, sitting there. And, we're coming out, and I have constituents in there, and these are other aides. There's constituents coming there, and all these guys are sitting down, and my constituents are standing up. So nicely, I told them to leave, very politely. You know me very well. Not
Well, it
really
wasn't
have-
nice then.
It was nice. Like, on your own time, get out. But then, so that was kind of the hangout. But Julie had a really good idea. I mean, she had a great, she can talk to anybody. I'll tell you that. You have a great concept of how stuff gets done. It's relationships. It's all relationships in politics. But Julie did a great job with legislative staff and just members. Members liked it always. There was always, come on in. I remember you come into, Representative Garrison's office. You're like, come on in. No, come on in. And you were doing stuff there. So I seen that, and when we took over Baywater, this was a couple years ago, I said, I need somebody to be here with me, and she was tired with politics, couldn't do it no more, out of that. So I can imagine it's a lot of work, and the pay's not the best, and it gets kind of monotonous. You get kind of fried after a while, and you were too valuable to have as a legislative aide. So we brought her here to Baywater, and now you are the general manager.
Indeed.
So how is it feeling going from politics, where nothing's really supposed to get done, like things do get done, but it's not really, to a business now, where you actually fired somebody for the first time?
I did, and I don't relish that experience, but I know it's important because and I think of myself as a pretty empathetic person. I'm not necessarily automatically going to be business minded. That's not how I grew up, but I've grown to really appreciate that you do have to separate emotions from running a business, and you have to do what's best for the business and not what's best for someone else's feelings. So I didn't like firing this person, but
It wasn't really like a get out,
it
but
wasn't bad either.
no,
But
and
it's still
most of the
like,
time, if you're a good manager, you know it's coming.
yeah, exactly. And I think they had an idea, but yeah, it's been a crazy transition, completely different, and I really enjoy it because I do feel like I'm learning a lot, and it's more challenging, I think, for me at least. But yeah, I really like it, and every day's different, and you're learning a lot of different skills that, it, like you said, it can be a little bit repetitive and monotonous up in the house. But if you're someone that's passionate about politics, that's a great place to be. I just am not necessarily that person, but I love people, like you said, and yeah, love being on the water. And I'm learning a lot. I really am. I've learned things that I never wanted to know.
So about these, when the first year we were in the legislature that Julie came out, we were in District 76, and then we had redistricting. So I don't think Julie knew this, but we got redistricted. And we got a new number, and I didn't know. I was like, oh, we're gonna get a new number. It's District 80. So Julie she's very artistic.
Oh no, I
Artistic.
spilled so.
You don't see it. It's okay. So you're good.
They would have never known.
They would have never known. You're good.
I'm honest.
Yeah,
I'm not perfect.
that's fine. Nobody is. So Julie decided to get a tattoo of the district number.
Oh God.
Show them the tattoo.
Is this where they would?
Yeah,
see it?
they're gonna see it.
Okay, so there's 76,
Uh-huh.
and that was our first district number.
Uh-huh.
And
I didn't know about this either.
yeah, no, I didn't tell him.
Uh-huh.
It happened after session, and Adam can attest to this. When you're in session, it's like nose to the grindstone for 3 months straight. You don't take your head up for air, and when you get out of it, it's like free fall. And I'm telling you, I got my hair wrapped, I got my nose pierced, I got a tattoo, all within 2 weeks of being back from my first session, because it's like you just like open your eyes for the first time. But I did get this tattoo because I felt like me being able to get this job, move out of Ohio, come work somewhere I'd never really lived before, it just changed my whole life, and it was a very meaningful year for me. So I did get 76 for the district number. And I think part of me knew that the number was going to change, but I didn't care because the first year meant a lot. Well, then, flash forward, 2 more years pass, and
We had a lot of stuff that happened in the district.
we did. We had Hurricane Ian
I mean, you were
and the Lee Health Bill.
over the district.
Yeah.
After Ian,
Yeah.
Julie was boots on the ground after Ian. Like, we had Mayor Allers on here, best mayor of Fort Myers Beach.
Yes.
Murphy sucked, but it's just way better. Dan Allers, great, but we were there hanging out after, and Julie, you were there at his commissary for like how long? You were there volunteering for months.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely a couple months there doing toy drives. My friend and I actually took up this initiative because we care about the area and the people. And yeah, we raised a couple $1,000s just on our own initiative outside of the political sphere. But I also had so many great connections from working with you. And so we were able to find out who really needed the help and where we could go. And yeah, we collected vinegar to help with the mold. We did muck outs. We got toys for the kids. We got sanitary kits. And then, yeah, we went.
I mean, Julie's out there with a rake, raking rocks one time to get out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, you did remember the Starlinks?
We did the Starlinks with partnership with Lee Health, getting those taken care of. I mean, yeah, it was a horrible situation, but it was a wonderful opportunity at the same time to really just like be helpful.
So that was a lot of fun.
But yeah, I was at that food pantry, and I believe now it's officially a nonprofit. They broke ground on it, right?
Fort Myers Beach Rising or something like that.
This Fort Myers Beach Women's Club, I believe.
I believe so.
So that was a wonderful thing that they were able to accomplish as well. And yeah.
So yeah,
she
Julie
got a little award for that.
Julie was up north in Ohio, I think. It's like, do you want me to come down for the storm? Hurricane. I was like, no. Why don't you just stay up there?
Yeah.
Luckily, you did.
I did, yeah.
It took you. Well, you're down a couple days later.
Yeah, I had to fly to Tampa.
Yeah,
because RSW was closed.
Yeah, because it was that bad. Flew to Tampa, and then showed up here, and it was just a whole nother craziness. So then we hit the ground running and just ran around the whole district. And I mean, we took the boat just to go to different spots because our district has a lot of islands. I mean, it's quicker for us to go by boat to check our whole district. I mean, for us to go out and around, to go all the way to Poquequilla, Pine Island, and all the way around. So we did a lot of that. So it was a lot of fun.
I mean, you were out there the very next day taking pallets of water out to Sanibel, I think, with some other
We had
reps
Representative Daly and Representative Tuck with us then, and all that good stuff. And Nugget was just chilling with Julie. So that's what happens. So Julie and Nugget are the same. Nugget and you Dog Beach all the time. So when the legislature's over, when our legislature's over, and Julie comes home and she talks about how being just busy, and all of a sudden you stop, and I'm like, hey, you gotta still do stuff, right? And you did a lot, but you still gotta do stuff. So she would come in to work, hang out with James. James is our district secretary, and he does an amazing job. So shout out to James Mullen. If you call our office, he's there all the time. He knows a lot of stuff. He's taking care of a ton of people. But Julie could be there till about noon, and it was, stuff going on. And so then she would come pick up Nugget and head to Dog Beach. So talk about that. So the connection of you and Nugget, Dog Beach, and it was like the whole thing all the time. So just bring that up. You want to talk a little about Nugget and Dog Beach?
I could talk about Nuggy forever. So my claim to fame with Nugget is that, so the Native family, actually, Mike Native and Felicia, his beautiful wife, they helped pick up Nugget when Adam got her. And when Mike brought her to Tallahassee, Adam was in a meeting. So I got to hold Nugget first. So I claim her.
Okay, well, maybe you're the real mom. That's fine.
But yeah, so she's just the most wonderful dog. She's so fun. She loves the marina, so she's very outdoorsy and scruffy. She does like getting picked up, so we'll see how well she does on the camera. But yeah, after session was over, the workload did slow down quite a bit as well. So it's not like there was stuff to do, unfortunately. Like, I would do as much as I could, and then I'd run out of stuff to do. But so yeah, then I also moved here not really knowing anyone. I didn't really have many friends at the time. Oh, there's Nuggy.
We got her. She jumped up.
Nuggy. And so I didn't really have a lot of friends, but I had Nugget, and we would go to Dog Beach and we would just hang out, the two of us, and she really was like an emotional support dog in a way. But I eventually found some friends, but that sounds really sad. However, quality over quantity, people.
That is true.
And
surround yourself with people you want to be.
I don't feel bad about being very careful who I surround myself with, because what is it? The 5 people you surround yourself with is a reflection of who you're going to be. Yeah. So hold true to that. But yeah, we had a great time at Dog Beach. We spent a lot of time there. Nugget likes to dig for seashells.
Okay.
But yeah, it was good.
She remember that one picture, she's just nothing but just hair. And she destroys Julie's Tesla all the time. I mean, there's hair everywhere. sand. I'm like, well, you could probably you know,
You have the white interior?
No,
black
yeah,
Just as bad.
with blonde
as
with a
bad.
blonde dog. So
Yeah.
it's just you
it's
know,
all right. That's
two
a beach
blondes at the
car now.
beach. But
Yeah.
but yeah, Nugget is our community dog. So when I'm up north running around carnival business or whatever, Julie watches her, or we'll have Mom watch her, or we even have Larry. We should get Larry on the
Larry.
show here. That would be interesting.
I figured Larry would be next.
Yeah, that could be a good idea. That could be a good one.
He'd be
Larry
hard
might.
pressed, but I bet he'd be hilarious.
Oh, he'd be
Talk about cars all day.
he'd sit there.
Oh
just,
yeah, Burger Motorsports.
You know, and he'll have to have I think 2 Long Islands before he gets here, but it'll be good times. He loves it. He loves it. We'll have.
Well, he's got to walk 12 feet.
Yeah,
And he's
pretty
good,
much.
So
Pretty much. It's good. It's good. So yeah, Nugget and Julie, pretty solid characters here at Baywater for sure. So getting back, what's the best about Baywater? What do you like working at Baywater?
There's a lot to like about working at Baywater, even though at times I do pull my hair out. A couple things, because I don't think I can narrow it down to one. But one, it's absolutely beautiful. So the change of pace from working in a concrete tower with a desk and no windows to coming to a marina where you get to look at boats and palm trees and dolphins even swim by. I mean, it really is important to be in a good work environment. I think just based on like your human hormonal, like being in a non-stressful place, even though it can be stressful, it's really helpful. And then also, I think just the members, because you get to meet so many different people and you get to meet their guests and their kids, and it's just like always something different. So there's always a change of pace there. But yeah, I think also I appreciate the freedom of sort of being my own boss at times, just because I know that I care enough about this place to keep myself productive and busy, so I don't necessarily need to be told what to do. But I like the ability to, not like in a way of like someone needs to make sure I'm doing something all the time, because I like being here and doing stuff. So I don't.
This
I
is the
feel
one who
confident about
who would rather
saying
sell cinnamon rolls, than deal with boats. I mean,
I do
Julie
like the
comes
cinnamon
out,
rolls.
right, because she's a control freak, right? She wants to control everything.
Yeah.
And we go out there and she goes, why don't we just do this more instead of the boats? I'm like, have you lost your mind? Like, it's easy. It's fun. It's a good week. I think after like 2 weeks, because you did 2 weeks
I did 2 weeks. Yeah.
and I was a little, you were kind of like, okay, this is too much.
Yeah.
Because Julie
well,
does come out and work on the carnival business too. So
Yeah.
she's sold rolls, cinnamon rolls. She's worked, tore down, drove equipment, kind of run around, drove trucks.
Yep.
She drove the 450 a couple times.
Yep.
You
And
know.
I didn't scratch it.
Yes, you did. You did scratch my Raptor a couple times,
That
but that was
Is
okay.
to the fault of the construction in Tallahassee.
So,
But it's not my fault.
that happened. So compared to the carnival business, you like it too, but yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, and I don't mean to say that I don't need supervision, because I couldn't do this without Adam's guidance or Sherry's guidance or Omar's guidance. It's extremely important to have solid people in your life. But I like the ability to just like work on things that I see need to be worked on, rather than like, hey, this bill needs to have X, Y, and Z to this person by this time. It's just, yeah, it's just a very different way of getting things done.
And we still have to deal with government with DEP, your favorite. We did
It's a
have a
good
nice
challenge.
We did have a good conversation today with the Department of Ag, because we are opening Sherry's Ship Store today, and that was a much better interaction, because we just threw Julie to the wolves.
Yes.
There was
yes.
So we have some Omar stuff, and we've had some docks that need to be adjusted on a permit, and things happen, right? There's a business and there's growing pains, and so I was like, Julie, you'll figure it out, go over there. And she had I think she has a little PTSD from it.
100%.
But you're much better now. I came back, she's like, what are we I'm like, it's okay, we'll figure it out, but we're getting there. We're that much closer to getting everything done, so it just
And
takes
it's going to
time.
put us in a better position for the future. So
It's just part of business. You
It
got to
is.
figure it out. So what do you think, Jake? What do you think of Julie? She's done all right. I mean, she's kept you in your toes. I mean, you've talked to her. You've had to do some stuff.
In my experience, yes, Julie is very, very fun to work with. We've done we did 2 events.
Yeah, you guys
The-
worked.
show.
We did boat shows together.
Mhm.
I think I'm pretty good with the rates. I was decent. decent.
yeah.
I wasn't the best, but
Well,
yeah,
you don't do it every day, but you did a great job for that day.
I tried.
Yeah.
Tried. But in my experience, yeah, you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
You're lucky
Aw.
because most people our age, unfortunately, don't care.
You
That's
guys are a
true.
couple young kids, like
So-
you are.
How old are you?
I'm 26 and a half.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm much older than her.
Yeah.
32. Whatever.
42 over here. Nuggets. She's
4.5.
so she's what the vet says she's about time for her to switch to light beer.
Yeah.
I
She's doing better.
thought it was funny. He goes, she's doing good. About time to switch to light beer though. I was like, damn, Nugget. I mean, we're gonna get some walks in, get our steps in, but she's doing pretty good though.
Like a Tinder.
She's more like a tender for sure. Let me think here for a second. I had a brain freeze. Usually I can just keep going. Julie, leaving Cincinnati, coming down here, and just kind of figuring it out, where you've come into Bonita now. Because I remember when you first moved down here, you're like, this place sucks. This is horrible. This place is, there's nothing to do. And now I think it's changed quite a bit. You've really kind of embraced it. And I tell that to everybody. You gotta be here for a couple years.
Yeah.
For young people, for us. I mean, I'm 42, 32, not young, middle-aged, a lot of gray hair. At least I got hair, right? At least I got hair.
Yes.
A lot of hair. So 20, 26, 27, I want to say 26. It takes a while to kind of get used to it. And then
Yeah.
once you do, I tell everybody, this is, like, we live in Florida. It's a great state. We
Yeah.
got this weather, 12 months out of the year. You're outside, you're in the sun, you're on the water. This is where everybody comes to die. Everybody retires here.
Yeah.
Everybody retires here to Southwest Florida.
There's a fish.
There's a fish, a couple fish. People come down here, and this is as far south as you can get while still being in the country. This, where I say that, by meaning of that, I mean, you're in Naples, you're in Bonita Springs, you're in Marco Island, Fort Myers Beach, Estero. You got weather that's amazing. Where if you go to Miami, it's a little bit of a hustle bustle, which is fun for young people that they want to go over there and party and all that. The Keys are amazing for a week though, but it's an island. And the hospital system is good, but it's not great. Here, I always say you can have a heart attack and you can walk across the street to McDonald's after. You get everything you want. You're still in the States while being here. So it really is, once you kind of get over here, and I even mess up times. I'm like, busy, I'm running around, It's a job. But then you go out there in a boat and you got to go pick up somebody, or you have to go rescue a boat, or dogs go on a dog beach right there. Nuggets all ready to go, crooked tail, But you get out there and you run across the bay and you're like, man, this is nice. Or like today I was doing an orientation. The water's just like crystal clear. It's like, it's a good time to go out. But it's just some of the best area we've ever had. I think I've done a lot of traveling all around the country. And this is the greatest area. I mean, Jake's done that. I mean, you're from Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
You're outside of Chicago too with your dad.
Mm-hmm.
Comparative, I mean, how do you feel about it now? Compared just from your first time coming down here to now. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree with everything you said.
Nuggets chasing something.
When you take a step back and really appreciate where we live, it's absolutely beautiful. The weather's spectacular. And it is intimidating and a little bit difficult for someone that's younger to integrate into the community. Myself, I didn't go to FGCU or any of the local schools here. And that's a great way to get a foot in the door and have a community. But when you're just moving here younger without having that, it is difficult because, like you said, it's a retirement
It's a
county
retirement
as
state.
well. Yeah. But yeah, once you, like you said, spend some time, do the work, be a little bit more independent, a little bit more outgoing, and get to just see different places and try and go to the more local spots and not be afraid to maybe put yourself out there a little bit. There's so many things to do. And I think also there's been progress as more people are moving into the area. Like downtown Bonita is really becoming a really cool spot.
Actually,
has
I
a
go
lot
later
of things.
tonight. Sugar Shack downtown tonight. So,
Yeah.
Battle the bands again.
Yeah.
Totally messed that up as a judge too.
Oh.
Totally messed up. I was like, yeah, I think the young guys we're not done yet. We still have 2 more sets. I'm like, oh. I pretty much made up my mind. I don't know what to tell you guys. Sorry, Sugar Shack. I was like, the kids beat the dads totally. So, but we didn't really get the guidance of what we were supposed to do. We had a paper and go from there.
Are you
so.
judging tonight too?
No, I'm just gonna go partake, and
Nice.
just kind of hang out, support my buddy Greg DeWitt. He's over there. He's a fire chief, so he's the judge tonight. So I'm gonna give him some crap for sure. So it's what I do. It's what I do. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure. Ask
Okay.
away. You say I talk too much, so I'm just trying.
You do.
Jill always tells me I talk too much,
Yeah.
and she just said, I can't believe that. All right. Ask away.
What is one of your favorite memories from us working together in the legislature?
One of the favorite memories of working together in the legislature. Ooh, good ones. They're birds. My birthday. You did a lot. You did a ton for my birthday at Birds.
No, that wasn't me.
Oh, that was you. There was a lot. You did a lot.
I did a lot for your 40th birthday.
Well, yeah, the 40th birthday, but we did a lot of Birds. You did a lot there.
That
I
wasn't
think.
me.
Well, okay, well, it's totally
But
fine.
someone did, and it was awesome.
Yes. As far as being in the legislature, I always liked just bouncing ideas off you and kind of getting your input, right? Because I do talk a lot. I will give you that. But I like to listen to and just like put it out there and say, hey, what do you think of this? What's going on with that? I think, a memory I remember was it was your first year and you come in and you're like, hey, Adam, do you want to meet with the NAACP? And I said,
You're gonna bring that up.
absolutely. I would love to meet with them. And Julie's face is like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, of course. I can't wait. I want to meet. And we had them come up, and there was probably 16 people in our little office, and it was a great
college age students.
yeah, college age students. Great meeting. It was a lot of fun. Julie was a little nervous. She was a little nervous
Well,
about.
and I'd like to give some background.
Okay, well,
information.
all right.
I feel like the reason that I had phrased the question or proposed the meeting that way is just because, one, I think I can probably admit now that I wouldn't have admitted then. I probably had some prejudice about Southern people coming from Ohio. Again, I will admit, very liberal upbringing. And however you feel about the world, please do. But I think I just had a misunderstanding of just automatically assuming, okay, well, he's from the South, and there were things going on at the time external to that. So I just want to be clear. I just felt from my experience, it wasn't a meeting that he was going
Jake,
to
you
take.
should have seen her. It was so funny. She was a little nervous. She was a little nervous.
I've had that exact same thing happen to me at work before. When I first moved back here, I had an accent. It was thick. And I remember this girl, she was black, and she came to me and she was like, I just want to apologize to you. And I'm like, what are you apologizing for? She's like, I just assumed you'd be racist because of your accent. And, I was like, well, I'm glad that you're not.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you don't think that.
Mhm.
So, and that's another thing that I want to ask you. Okay. So since you've gotten so you learned about politics more in the state of Florida than you probably were groomed in the state of Ohio. So when you go back to the state of Ohio, what do we do differently that they should do there? And I mean like anything, roads, trash on the ground, because every time I go up to Columbus, that's where I grew up.
He grew up in Columbus.
Yeah, no, and I
It's
spent some
pretty
time there
dirty.
as well, yeah, so we can bond over that. Yeah, and there's definitely certain areas of Columbus that are, outside of the campus area, it's kind of, like you mentioned, a little bit
It's a little
run
rough.
down. And yeah, there's,
Cincinnati is though too. In some
I know.
places.
I know, and I had to talk
She's
to my...
from Covington. She ain't from Cincinnati.
No, I'm not from Covington, Kentucky. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Sure, just sounded like you were.
I can do a little accent over here and now. But, no, I was going to say, I just went home to Cincinnati May 2nd for my aunt's 5th wedding. And I had to discuss with my friends, where can I
Fifth
go?
wedding.
Yeah,
That's
well,
another, we're gonna
Just jump over that.
no, that's for another podcast. Okay. That's called job security. I'll do that. But no, I just had to ask where I could go out after. Do I need to touch on the 5th wedding aspect?
No.
No,
We'll
we'll come back to it. We'll circle back.
But yeah, you can't go to downtown anymore. You can't go to over the Rhine, and people had tried to put businesses in those areas, and unfortunately just like crime has retaken because it was there and then it went away and then it came back, and I guess it's just something with cities and downtown areas. But I don't know. I think Florida does. I have a difficult. Like I mentioned earlier, I do think I'm more empathetic than some people, and I have a difficult time just kind of brushing off any issues with homelessness. But I do think, I mean, you're hard pressed to
Mental
find
illness, yeah.
a homeless person in this area. And now, if that means that they're being rehomed or being put into like a better situation, like with Matthew's house, is that what it's called? St. Matthew's house. Like that's a wonderful organization and that's a great program. And I think that's just an issue that Cincinnati and even Columbus has issues with. And there's other ways that I think Florida handles that in terms of like mental health centers, right? Like the David
Lawrence Center.
Center that helps with that. So I
Mhm.
think that's pretty good.
What about cultural differences?
Um, Cultural differences. Well, I don't know how I want to answer that question. I don't know. I think it's difficult to answer that because when I was growing up in Ohio, I was growing up. And so you're not really fully formed in your brain literally isn't fully formed. You're still taking on everything from your environment. And it's hard to form your own opinion of things. I left there when I was 21 years old, which again, I would argue I was still pretty naive and not really. So I don't know. The cultural differences, I feel like it's hard to answer, but I think maybe at least I don't know. I
Let me
think
give you
in
a handoff.
Florida
All right,
we're
so
a little okay because I could
think about it like this,
I'm
right?
scared.
So after a hurricane, the community here gets together, right? It's very, very uncommon for you to wave at a neighbor in Ohio. I mean, at least in the parts where I was from, it's just not as friendly, as inviting.
Mhm.
And I feel like the biggest difference between the state of Florida and almost any other state is we practice working together in times of struggle. Like we come together and we work together, and unfortunately I feel like in a lot of other states that don't have that repeated practice, and unfortunately, a lot of people lose stuff. We lose homes, we lose cars,
We've
some
gone
have
through a
lost their
lot of
lives.
natural disasters lately.
But the idea is that they don't go through those same things that we go through, and it's like we all bind together whenever these things happen. And just for example, the only thing that they really have to worry about weather-wise is like a tornado.
Yeah.
And even in those
Or a
circumstances,
blizzard.
I don't see them getting together the same way we do culturally. Like it doesn't matter who you are, what your background is. We're gonna help regardless. It doesn't matter. Like I love Chris. Well, he was my neighbor, but after the hurricane, the first thing we did was go make sure Chris was all right. And he's always yelling at me to cut my grass and the whole nine. And he's definitely not on the same side politically that I'm on. But I still made sure that he was good. And in some cases, I feel like in other states, I don't think that they would do that. That's just my personal opinion on my experience living there. But I think we might have lived in very different areas.
I think we did a little bit. I grew up in Western Hills, Cincinnati, Ohio. So if you're familiar with Cincinnati, there's the east side and the west side, and they're very different. I would say the east side sounds more similar to what you're describing, but the west side's notoriously a very small town feel. So I do think we had a little bit more of that camaraderie. But again, Cincinnati, in terms of the west side, is very different from Columbus and all of their neighborhoods and suburbs as well.
It's the opposite, actually. Columbus was the west side was the more rundown part of the area, and the east side was the more like uppity.
Oh,
like,
I didn't say the west side was nice. The east side was way nicer.
Right.
Maybe it's because we had a little bit of the struggle in us that we were bonded a little bit more.
So I know about Cincinnati. There's 75 goes to Cincinnati, and there's this like hill coming into
But
Cincinnati.
cutting the hill. Yep.
Yeah, and that thing is steep. And we used to pull equipment, and that was like always a big hill that we were worried about because brakes go out and stuff happens. But that's another thing.
I will say though that whenever you come around that bend in Cincinnati, because it's like you're driving through the mountains forever, and then you finally get through the mountains, and you come around that bend in Cincinnati, it just opens up.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the most beautiful. I still remember it as a kid when we moved to Columbus. I was like, "This is where we're gonna live." They're like, "No, we're about 2 hours out." I'm like, "Oh, well, it's gonna be like this, right?" No.
I mean, Columbus has a nice skyline, and they do have a river that goes through it, but it's not the same.
Nah, it's poopy.
Going back to Julie's, we're not going to touch on the aunt with fifth marriage here just yet. But going back to Julie's question, what did we do besides my birthday? I have to say, probably a thing that we did was the Lee Health Bill.
Yeah.
I think that was, like Julie was like completely invested in this bill, because Julie always had like a background. She always wanted to get like help out with people. You can tell Julie's very helpful. She wants to help people all the time, right? Medical, whatever it is, healthcare. And we did a bill for Lee Health, and that was a bill to make them a public moving from a public entity to a public private entity, and getting them off the tax roll. And they were hamstring. They had one hand tied behind their back. They could only operate in Lee County. And this was a bill that took a couple years to get done, and that was fun.
Yeah.
And that was just grit, pretty much, that got it done. And that was as much my job as Julie's, and she was there all the way. And I remember we had a couple friends, Charlie Dudley and Michael Nachiff, and Julie was like in every committee meeting with the hair ready to go and just talking a lot like Nugget is, when one ear is over, but the hair was spiked. But she was dedicated. So that was probably another thing.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of nights at Birds that were fun too. So
yeah.
there's a ton of that. Remember we went out with Toby and Eli that one time to the
Oh my goodness, the moon.
To the moon,
Yep.
and we did that.
Adam Montana can dance.
I got some moves. I was spinning and spinning. And then there's the other, we did the Black and Tan event. Remember we were there?
Yeah.
That
And it was at the same venue, but they have different musical genres.
And what was that dance I was doing with
Swag and Surf?
Swag and Surf. Jake, I've done
Make
a
your
lot.
Faces.
I've done a lot of things, but I had Representative Driscoll and Representative Chambliss, and I don't know if there's any pictures, but we're doing this dance, and they're like, all right, you just got to lock in. I was like, okay,
It's a workout.
And everybody was just swag and sway for sure. What is it called?
Swag and Surf.
Swag and Surf. Yes, might have to Google that. But that was good. That was a good time. That was a lot of fun.
Jake, what do you think about that?
Not surprised at all. Not surprised at all. Swag and Surf and Mr. Adam Botana, Boatman.
just
Nothing less.
Just going to it. It was fun. It was fun. Like, remember Fincher's like, get right here. And now she is the minority leader for the House, and went to Yale, went to Georgetown. Smart. She's actually running for the Senate.
Yeah.
Great lady. We've worked together on stuff. We don't always agree. We agree on 80% of the stuff. 20% we don't. But she's great. We had a good time. Yeah, the Swag and Surf. That was a good time. So going back to your aunt.
Yeah.
Do you want to touch on that? I mean, fifth marriage
Yes.
is best. That's
Yes.
that's a lot.
Aunt Susie, I'm so sorry if you ever see this, but I doubt you will.
Oh, definitely sending it to your mom.
I mean, she knows. She was there for all of them. So my Aunt Susie, all things considered, she's a wonderful person. She is so sweet and funny and kind and generous. And she has a son, my cousin Taylor, and she's done a wonderful job of raising him. Quite frankly, she raised him by herself for most of his life. What?
No, good. No,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm getting some signals.
No.
And so her first marriage was to Tommy, Taylor's dad. And then perhaps he was involved in some illicit activity that took him in incarceration.
Oh. Okay.
When my cousin was very young. And then, as I mentioned, my aunt really did a great job of raising my cousin predominantly on her own for a while.
Jake's melting over here, I think.
No, I'm keeping my head out of the shadow.
Oh, okay.
Look, the shadow.
Okay, yeah.
Second marriage was to a guy named Steve Grace. He's dead now, and I'm not afraid to say that because he was not a nice person. The third was to, I don't remember his name. There was another one. Or maybe no. Tommy, another one, Steve, and then back to Tommy because he got out of jail.
So then your aunt married him again?
Yes, because they were true loves.
Megan
and
smells food, and that's why she's trying to go to Larry's.
and then he passed away.
Okay.
Unfortunately, right after my cousin and I graduated high school. And then this is her fifth marriage now to a guy named Jerry, and he's wonderful.
Shout out Larry.
There goes his Genesis with Burger Motorsports.
His Genesis. He's got like backflip.
Little backfires and stuff.
Yeah.
Pop, 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 pop.
So yeah, so 5. Okay, well, I mean, I met her. She's a sweet lady.
Yeah.
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 And your mom's a good time too. She's fun. She got some margaritas.
Yes.
She can
mom's
she can cut a rug.
She can. She's a good time. I'll tell you what. I want to be like her when I'm her age.
Her and Steve, Krusty. Yeah, so okay. All right. So you've had some experiences. We're getting towards the end of the show here. I want to say we've had a lot of fun with this, and Julie's done a great job. And on the podcast, is there anything other questions you want to ask me? Because I was kind of taken back because not many people ask me questions. Usually I'm the one asking.
Right. Well, you should know by now I have some control issues, so I like to get my word in there.
Any other questions? You got one more question. If you anything you want to know.
One more question.
No, nothing.
No, I can do this. I just have to make sure it's a good one.
Okay.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years washing boats.
You're gonna wash the boats.
I wash the boats now. What are you doing?
I didn't switch the camera fast enough. That's staying.
5 years, 5 years of blinking an eye, right? I remember a friend said one time it takes 10 years to be an overnight success. We've been here 20 now with the club. Could have done it without family. Could have done it without my dad. Can't do it without you now. I mean, this is a lot. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Got 2 more years left in the legislature. Who knows what happens after that? But the main thing right now is to work, right? And you've got to build this up and get there. So we'll see. 5 years from now could be interesting. Don't quite know, have an idea, but we'll see. That's yet to be determined. Okay.
If you were an animal, what animal do you think best suits your personality?
I would be Nugget.
I'm Nugget.
If I was an animal, what's the best suits my personality? I would go. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. If I was an animal, I don't know, Jake. I was gonna say bear, but that doesn't sound well because that's just not. I would say.
I have another question.
Okay.
If you could only have one thing for breakfast for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
I didn't ask.
Sorry.
I would say if I had to have one thing for the rest of my life,
Mom's key lime pie.
Mom's key lime pie. I was gonna say mom was not really bad. I would say dad's pancakes. Dad's pancakes with butter, and we didn't put syrup on it. We put a lot of butter. It's gonna sound disgusting. Cracker Barrel mix pancakes, and we put just straight raw sugar on it.
Oh my Lord!
Straight, just it's like a crepe. I guess they do that with crepes or whatever.
They do powdered sugar.
Powdered sugar, but yeah, we would just put like raw sugar and butter. Right on. This is regular sugar on a pancake. I would say that's probably what I'd probably have no teeth left and be 500 pounds, but that's what I definitely do. And the occasional cinnamon roll maybe, but I've dealt with those all my life.
Countdown to Midland.
Yes. What about you, Jake? What's if you had to have bacon, egg, cheese?
Bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit.
McDonald's or just like a?
No, yeah, probably.
I mean, it's the gut bomb, man.
Consistent.
The gut bomb. Waffle House. To say Waffle House. Too.
I mean, Waffle House is when I go to Waffle House, it's literally what I get. I tell them I want bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. Just give me everything, and I'll build it on my plate with a waffle or some pancakes.
What about you, Julie?
Sorry, I was just thinking about how I've never been to Waffle House between like breakfast time and dinner. It's always 11 to 3, like PM to AM.
Like Julie came back one time like with a huge
my Lord,
finger,
yes, I
like
did.
just bloody.
Yeah.
And it's a Waffle House incident. I mean, everybody has to have one of those.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we're getting to the end of the show here. Thank you for tuning in on Fox News. This is on a podcast. This is the Carney to Congress podcast presented by Baywater Exclusive Boat Club. And we thank you for tuning in. We're on here every Sunday morning from 6 to 7 a.m. And then, Jake, if you want to to plug the podcast if you don't want to get up at 6 a.m. on a Sunday. CARNYToCongress.com.
Yes, CARNYToCongress.com is gonna, be the easiest way to find it. Or you can just subscribe on Spotify, Apple, Pandora. Also on YouTube, we set the full thing. We have a bunch of shorts on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and go to Carney to Congress, we're on there as well. You can just Google Adam Botana, Carney to Congress. All that will come up. It's very easy to find. And once you find it, subscribe so that you get notified every time that we upload.
That's right. Good job, Jake. So, Julie, thank you for coming in. Thanks for doing this. And we're going to have to do this again. We're going to get Larry maybe next. Next week, we're going to have an interesting city councilman. It's got a little backstory there, so that'll be fun. And we'll just keep doing this. So, folks, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you here next week. Baywater System Boat Club, the exclusive club of Southwest Florida that brings you Carney to Congress podcast.